Welcome back. It is a new day, a new episode, and it is freezing. So, yesterday was all melting, right? Well, today is 14 degrees in the middle of the day, no sun. There's still some water under there, sure, but we got this little indoor skating rink. It's still a work in progress, the indoor skating rink, but we're almost there. We're getting there. All right, let's get this girl. Oh, we got a little bit of snow ingress at the bottom, and that's again why I don't want to keep these school bus doors, because they don't seal. Have to get that blown out or something. They don't seal that well, Get my flap lined up. But yeah, let's get it warmed up. It's a bit of a mess in here. I didn't clean up a lot yesterday before I packed up, because I just wanted to finish that seat bracket, which looks pretty good to me. It's dry to the touch. So yeah, I just need to finish the floor now. But the seat is ready to go in, besides the seat belt, which I have some ideas. I'll see how they look today, and see what I might potentially do for that. Otherwise, we need to tackle that. It's not warm out, so it's not dripping out there. And welding and grinding doesn't have a particular temperature. I just need to get myself warm. So I'm gonna get the heater kicking, get it a little bit warmer in here. I'm gonna clean up and start moving around, which will also get me warmer. And hopefully I have some energy to get that finished, or some aspirations to get that finished. I really need to get that done and paint this floor, but it might be a little too cold to paint today, which is the other thing I was thinking about, which is like, I don't know, but we'll figure it out. I got this plate. I'm starting to work on it. Got it tacked in so far. I had to heat up the seam sealer in front of the heater, so I could seam seal that plate that was in the middle there, hoping that a bunch of moisture doesn't intrude in there. Yeah, I just tacked it up. It's a little difficult around this area right here because it's really thin and rusty. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep working my way around, hopefully not burn through too much, and then yeah, we'll see how it looks after that. I ended up just tacking this whole piece. I did little tack welds all the way around, as many as I could, because, well, I have a crappy, or not the best flux core welder, and this is super thin. I'm running off an extension cord. So there's a lot of variables, but it was just hard to weld, and there's not much to weld to on those rusty bits. So I tacked it as much as I could. It's not going anywhere. It's solid. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. So then I just seam sealed all the welds, used a putty knife to smooth them all out. So I could paint this just how it sits. I think I'm going to hit the vacuum just to get around the edges. I'm probably going to let this dry before I paint it. I don't think you have to, though. Yeah, you can paint it in 0 to 24 hours. So I could paint this immediately if I want to, but I kind of want to clean up those other edges around it, those other little, crappy parts. And then, so we'll let that dry a little bit so all that shit doesn't stick to it and make it look all messy. But it's in there, it's installed. That area still needs to get addressed right there. And obviously that area and that area. But the main floor piece is in, and from below you can kind of see it. I'll give you guys a view. You can see it in there. You can see the seam sealer too hanging out. Ow, that is a mirror. Shoot. So yeah, that's where we're at. I came back out after lunch and painted. So I cleaned up the rust a little bit and scraped off the loose paint that was already there and put the bed liner over it. So it's been drying for a little bit. I didn't have my phone out here, so I wasn't filming. But I was looking at my seatbelt situation again, because I have a couple different options. I can retain this, and as long as I can securely mount it somewhere and keep it in the right position, then it should be all legal and good to go. Otherwise, I mean, this is the Volkswagen one. It bolts to the seat bracket so that as you adjust the seat, this goes forward and back, so that's in the right location, but it obviously doesn't have a pre-tensioner built onto it. So I don't know how secure it would be, but I'm thinking of cutting this bracket and welding it to that so that this can bolt to the seat and, you know, be adjusted to the right location no matter who's driving and what position they're in, and the pre-tensioner is still installed. Otherwise, I could put this on there. I could potentially wire this up so that it says the seatbelt's clicked in when it's actually clicked in, or I could just have this, you know, have the wire go under there for looks, and then have all of this just wired up underneath, hidden. Not the seatbelt, but like put a resistor in the airbag thing so there's no airbag light, but there'd be no pre-tensioner, and just wire up the seatbelt thing to say that the seatbelt's always clicked in. So the airbag would always go off. Obviously, that's not the safest option to delete it and bypass it. The safest option would be to reinstall it, but you need it to be secure. So like these tabs keep it from rotating and whatnot, but I basically just made a little cardboard template again, cut out this the cutoff piece from the seat frame, and I just notched it out so it fits in there. I found a bolt that fits well. I drilled a hole. So once this is bolted up, I'll get a better bolt, a grade 8 bolt that fits in there the right size. But once that's mounted up, this shouldn't be able to rotate at all, and this angle iron, you know, it's not going to bend that way. And then I'll weld this to this guy, you know, somewhat, you know, like that, and then this whole thing will be able to bolt on to the side of that and adjust with everything. And I just got to route so then it should be inspectable like that, in theory. I don't see why it wouldn't be inspectable if I reattach the factory, you know, SRS component to the new seat. That's what most of the aftermarket seats do. They have an adapter that bolts this to the side. That's all. So before I go any further with the seatbelt stuff, I want to put the seat in place on the mount and you know, look at it from there. And I don't want to unplug that seatbelt from that box so I don't create a code or a problem or anything. So instead of watching paint dry, I am doing other miscellaneous tasks around the bus. I took this light off of the back that is broken. It was for the wheelchair lift, but I labeled the connector and then shoved it up into there where it's gonna go. This will be trash. And I'm also now starting to remove these decals off the window. I got one off so far. I had to scrape the whole thing off because it's so dry. These ones are like papery, so those will be fun, but I got the spray cleaner and razor blade, so I'm gonna scrape away at those. Got a couple on the sides. I don't know if I'm keeping these panels up here, so I don't know if I care to even bother pulling the stuff off of them. I'm probably gonna get rid of them. I'm gonna leave them, those panels in place for now though, because the lights are in them and some speakers, and I want to label those wires. But while I'm still using this space as like a work van, basically to haul stuff around and gather materials, I don't want all these wires dangling around and stuff. So I'll keep them kept up in there for now. But once all of this is cleared out, then I'll dig into that stuff. I just don't want to keep piling up parts in here because I'm starting to run out of room between tools and parts, and working space. But once the seat's back in, it'll clear up a lot of room, and once that's all put back together, I won't have this big old thing in the way, and I can take a lot of these tools out because that's the main thing. But I also do have a lot of work to do to the engine, but it doesn't have to happen immediately. I got some time for that. So yeah, I'm gonna get back to scraping away at these stickers and letting that paint dry some more. All right, I started tearing apart these rear doors, and then started trying to install a deadbolt on it, but my hands are fucking frozen, and I'm tired and I'm done with today. So sun is setting. This shit's been fucking drying all day. So tomorrow I'll put the seat in and get that buttoned up. I'll see if I can reinstall those old bolts. If not, it'll be Monday, so maybe the Ford dealership will have something. I need to replace that latch anyways, which apparently only the Ford dealership has. And it looks like this one was already replaced at some point because it's different than the rest of them. So let's work on that, but I can't do that anymore. My hands are not gonna I'm gonna get frostbite or something soon. So I'm done for today. I'm gonna wrap it up. I didn't get that much done besides the floor, but it's a pretty good amount of work to me. So yeah, see ya.